Hey everybody, welcome to metaphysicalcupofcoffee.com. I'm Gavin Tedder, for those of you who don't know if you're new to this channel. But I wanted to get on here today real quick and just describe some things that I've seen recently. I was watching one of Jay's videos on thespiritualfoundation.com, I think it's just J Era Essex YouTube channel is what it's called. And that's where you can find it if you wish. I'll put the link in the description down below for the video. But the title of it is 2 Skinwalker Ranch Greys, Portals, and Time Travel Answers for Understanding. Part 2, I believe is what it is. Yes. And in that video, Jay is describing a documentary rather, on Skinwalker Ranch that is done by, I think, Jeremy Corbell is his name. I haven't watched it yet. I actually plan on watching it. But Jay's mentioning some things and, talks about some stuff in there that's pretty crazy and it's worth looking at for sure. And actually, I'm getting my videos mixed up. I'm sorry. There's another video. If you'll give me just 1 second. Yes. I found it. Short compilation of previously posted visual ET visitation proof. That is what the name of the video is. That's what I'll put that link in the description. Sorry. Actually, I'll put both of them because they're both good. They're both interesting, so I'll put both of them in there. But in the second video that I was talking about, a short compilation of previously posted visual ETs proof, that one, he's going through showing you all these videos that have already been posted on the internet and on YouTube of, proof of ETs visiting. That's what it is. You can't necessarily see their faces or anything, but you can use your metaphysical abilities to go and check them out and everything else. And there's some things that I was checking out last night while I had some extra time that I wanted to just share with you guys about the Illyrian, Serpoian, and Nantids. So, and I've seen them before, but I guess I just wanted to kind of give you guys a description in case you guys happen to look. And you guys, don't believe me necessarily just because I'm saying it. Go and check it out for yourself. That's what you should be doing. But in case, for whatever reason, I just figured I'd give you guys this information. So I can't exactly explain how big they are, because I can't exactly tell, but I know just from information that Jay's given me and just context clues of like me using my pineal and scanner and going and checking them out. I can kind of tell you a little bit of like what their size is and whatnot, but Nantids, they are very big beings, and there's a ship under Antarctica right now that they still use it, but it doesn't fly anymore. For whatever reason, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'm not sure. But there is a base of Nantids down there that have been here for a very, very long time. And they're in Antarctica. And Nantids, they're tall, they're big. They're bigger than your normal human, your average human, for sure. And the best way I can really describe them is they look like huge humanoid ants. They literally, they have an ant-like face with, big old eyes kind of on the top sides, front top sides, big eyes like that. They have mandibles and their mouths rather. And those, from what I can tell from what I've seen, those can be different sizes. And that's just like, some people are taller, some people are shorter. I'm pretty sure, it's like they can have different sizes, like mandibles on their mouths, or, mouths, whatever you want to call them. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, if probably not correct because they're not insects. We call those pieces of the insect on their mouth, mandibles, but they're not insects. They're a totally different thing. But it's, if you want to visualize what they look like, the closest thing I can describe is a large humanoid ant. Very, very cool people, amazing. And from what I've seen, the different ones that I've seen, they are bigger, way taller than what I am. I think I'm like 5'7", 5'8". You know, I'm not very big at all, so they're really big to me. But I mean, even to a large human, they would be bigger on average, at least taller, and much stronger, much stronger. But I've seen a couple of them, and I don't know if it has to necessarily deal with age or just, you know, genetics or whatever, but there was one that I had actually seen. It's like, if you're looking at, if this is the face and it comes up and then you have the eyes, and they do, I had seen what seems like antenna basically, but on their face, like in between their eyes, kind of like where the nose would be, but not right on the nose, but like kind of like offset, but like in between the eyes. There was one that I saw that actually had like markings, and it was like, I don't know, I wouldn't say scars or like war paint or anything, but if you know, were to think of, you know, just looking at them, not all of them have them. And there's one individual that I saw that it looked like they had like markings in between their eyes that kind of ran up and down their face, like little like ching ching ching, or like, you know, I couldn't quite see exactly, but you know, I'm just being pushed to, you know, give you guys this information. And then the Serpoian and Illyrian, just so y'all know, like whenever you're talking about like Anunnaki, for the most part you're talking about like reptilian people. But just like you can have your ancestors can be from, so you're talking about a Spanish person, you could have somebody from Mexico, you know, their parents lived there, grew up there, they're Mexican, okay? So they come up to the United States and they have a child. That child is American, but their heritage is Spanish, or they're Mexican, you know what I mean? So it's kind of the same thing with some of these aliens. They've just been, or ETs rather, I say aliens. The more proper term would definitely be ETs, or, you know, these other beings. You know, they're just like us. They're just like me and you know what I mean? But just like you can be a certain species, you could have lived or grown up somewhere and be considered that a part of that. I should kind of point that out. You know, and I'm sure whenever they actually do show themselves and come out here, it'll, you know, people will be able to understand that a little bit easier. But I guess that's kind of the best way that I can explain it, as to how I understand it, at least. If I end up being wrong, I'll try to come back and correct myself. But as far as I can understand it, that's how I understand it. But like, say, the Serpoian, they're usually a little bit smaller, from what I can tell. There are people who are probably the size of Serpoians and Illyrians, but probably not many, just because they're in stature just smaller. They're smaller beings. But Serpoians generally have like a smoother face and kind of like from what I can tell, like a bigger head in the back. Like it goes up taller in the back. Sorry about that. I was pausing the video because my wife was coming in from out back and I was making sure she wasn't needing anything. But the Serpoian, like I was talking about, they're shorter, smaller in stature compared to normal, your average human being rather. And also their heads, here, let me lower my seat where y'all can see me a little better and I can show y'all a little easier. So their heads, like say, you know, my head, I have a little tiny head, you know. So when I'm talking about these, like, I'm sure if they saw me, if they were looking at me, they'd be like, look at this dude with the small head. But anyways, Serpoians, they have like a bigger head that seems to come up kind of taller and in the back. You know what I mean? And their facial features are pretty smooth and more subtle, I think is the best way that I can describe them. Is a more smooth, subtle facial features, kind of like what you would think is like a gray. Your typical gray is what most people would think of, and then their heads go kind of up. Sorry, trying to get my hands even here. Sorry, I'm trying to do it. I don't need to do it by the visual. I need to do it by feel. Their heads kind of go up and they're taller in the back, and kind of up like that. So it's like they look. That's kind of one of the distinctive ways you can kind of tell who is Serpoian and who isn't. And I mean, there's a bunch of them who have, mixed DNA with other races and everything else. Just because these people have been around for, these races rather, have been around for millions and millions and millions and millions of years, way longer than we have, way longer than we have developed. Some of the information that's given in one of those videos is that their actual physical makeup of their brain isn't necessarily as hardy as what like a human brain is, but they have developed and evolved in such a way that their brains, they can use their metaphysical abilities so much better and easier and move their energy and spirit through their brains and use their abilities way easier than what humans can. So if you see like a shorter stature gray, if you're using your abilities and you see like a kind of like what looks like would be like a shorter in stature humanoid gray with kind of softer facial features, not extremely defined, smaller nose, smaller mouth, they got the eyes, and then a head that kind of comes up a little bit higher, like taller and in the back than what you would think is normal, rather. That's probably Serpoian. And Illyrians, they're pretty close in stature, but I think on average, Illyrians, I think, are a little bit smaller than Serpoian, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but I think they're a little bit smaller in stature than Serpoian. And also, Illyrians, they seem to have, at least the one that I saw, it seemed to have much sharper features in their face. Like it almost seems like their cheekbones are higher and sharper, and also in the back of where their head is, like a Serpoian's more of like a round, head kind of deal, but on like an Illyrian, it's almost like you can see, from what I can tell, they have almost like their skulls are shaped like in such a way to where most of them have almost like a shelf in the back where it almost looks like there's like a flat spot of their head that just comes around in the back, and then it goes into a normal round skull. But they have sharper facial features in general, I believe. And that's just some information that I wanted to give you guys looking at some of these videos that Jay has put out, JRSX YouTube channel. He's got them on there. He's got a bunch of information, and especially the two videos that I'm going to be linking down below. The first one being the compilation of ET proof visitation. That one's the one where I was looking at a lot of these images that he was putting up, which is like ships and different things happening, where you can go and you can use your abilities to see them. And then this is what I got. And I mean, I've looked at Serpoian, Illyrian, and Nantid before, but they are probably the ones that I've seen the most with my metaphysical abilities. And I was just thinking about the differences of them, and I was just like, I'll put that on a YouTube video, just information for people to have. They can look and they can see and they can find out for themselves if they want. But yeah, I think Illyrians, like I said, shorter, a little bit smaller than Serpoians in stature, and they have sharper features, more defined features, and more of like a defined and sharper features of their skull and their face. Serpoians also smaller in stature, but have more of round, tall heads and more smoother features of the face and skull. And then, like I said, Nantids, very tall in stature, much more so than a human, and much more so than your average human, I should say. And I mean, they are amazing. They are just wild. I mean, to see something like that with your abilities is absolutely crazy. Like it's wild and amazing. And I mean, they are great people, absolutely amazing people. And a lot of the ones that are down there in Antarctica, they just don't want to be messed with. They don't want people down there. So I mean, and Jay explains this in one of the videos that I'm going to be linking the description to. With Admiral Byrd. What's this video doing? Oh, okay, there we go. He links it in the description where he's talking about like Admiral Byrd going and visiting Antarctica, and like talks about that whole thing that happened a little bit. And they did attack him, but they just wanted him out. They didn't want them there. Like, they've been there on this planet, or at least that piece of land rather, they've been there for way longer than what humans have been on the earth, or what, not even like modern humans, but like what we started as. They were here before we got to this planet. So there is that. They're very, very old, amazing humans, amazing beings. But I would encourage anybody watching this, and anybody who wants to practice with their metaphysical abilities, like, to check those races out, and go and in this video, whenever Jay's describing it, puts up like a clip of like a ship going by or whatever. He's like, hey, use your abilities and go do it. Go check this out. I would very much tell people to do that, try that. Anything that Jay's like, hey, look, it would be worth to go check this out. It's worth it. Anything that he says that you should check this out or whatever, you're gonna be interested in it. Like, it's pretty amazing, the stuff that you're gonna see whenever you start using your abilities and practicing and trying to see this stuff. But yeah, I mean, I've seen other races and everything else, but those were the three that I wanted to talk about today in this video. And the differences, more or less the difference in Elurian and Serpoian as far as my understanding goes. I could be, slightly wrong about this or that, and I hope I'm not offending them in any kind of way describing them or trying to describe them, talking, about using my physical abilities, my metaphysical abilities, because, I'm still working on it, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to get everything perfect, but I would suggest most definitely checking those videos out and going and checking those types of beings out, because it's amazing, it's awesome, and they're great people. And especially whenever they see, like, if you go, you can use your abilities to go in the past and look at them into the video, but the with the descriptions that he gives and everything. But with like Antarctica, I would suggest trying to remote view. You can use your pineal a little bit, so hopefully you can kind of get a little bit more information out of them, but I would say use your scanner to remote view and go into that ship in Antarctica and see those Nantids in real time, because they'll react to you. When they see you, whenever you pop up and you're looking at them, you'll just all of a sudden see them, and they'll look directly at you, and you might not hear anything or necessarily get anything, but you'll see them start, their little, the mandibles on their mouths, or whatever they're called. I'm not sure. I'm saying mandibles because it's just, I know the best word to use. But you'll see them, start, moving like they're talking. And you can also use your heart to fill into them, to check them out, and they're great people. They are. I can't wait to meet everybody, honestly. It's so exciting. But I just wanted to give you guys that bit of information. And like I said, please check out these videos below in the description that I'm putting up there. And check out more, J Era Essex YouTube channel, because like there's so many videos in there that he talks about different things and says, hey, go check this out, use your metaphysical abilities. It's worth it. It's worth your time doing and trying, because you get some amazing things from it. But I'll leave it there with you guys. I hope this video done some good and give somebody who is wanting to try and practice and get better at this, give you some good, not necessarily homework, but just some fun activities to do, because it's really fun. And honestly, it's nice to just break away from this monotonous machine of life that has been set up for us. Like, this isn't how life is supposed to go. You're not supposed to be, don't get me wrong, you can, holidays and stuff bring you together with your family and things like that, and that's a good thing. Coming together with your family and spending time with loved ones, that's a very good thing. But a lot of this stuff is just set up to be distraction. You know what I mean? Let me just think of some things. Christmas, Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoy Thanksgiving. Who doesn't? You know what I mean? Get to eat a bunch of good food, gain some weight. Spend time with family. That's probably one of the most, in my opinion, wholesome holidays to actually celebrate. Not necessarily for discovering America, because people have been here for millions and millions and millions and millions of years way before us. So it's kind of arrogant, to think of it like that. But just getting together with extended family and spending time playing games, eating food, that's amazing. I like that. But all these other holidays and social media, all these other distractions, that's all they are. They're just distractions in life to keep you busy and not let you do the things that you can, distract you from doing the things that you can do. That's what a lot of life is. It's a bunch of distractions. There's a lot of good in life, but the way things have been set up here on Earth and in the United States, there's a lot of things that are just meant to be distractions. All these different news outlets trying to throw all these celebrities in your face. Ooh, look what this person did. Look what this person said. Oh, look at that. It's all distraction. Just break away from that for a bit. Be yourself. Be you. Not Gavin, or not, Jane Doe, or, whatever your name is or whatever, but who you really are inside and what you really can do. Enjoy that, because that gives you a lot of happiness and fulfillment to yourself and in your life, in a physical body. Doing that, just breaking away and doing that for a little bit, it can help a lot, just with your mood, your temperament. I don't have a bad temper, I'm pissy with everybody all the time or nothing, but I know things can happen, and it's just, I feel overwhelming, and I just get knots in my chest that are just hard to come out, and that's just it is an easy way to help alleviate some of that. Well, that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about. And like I said, shout out to the J Era Essex YouTube channel. Please check some of those videos out, because he gives a lot more detailed and better information than probably what I can give you. But check them out, and check those beings out. Check the races out, dude. They're amazing. They're absolutely amazing people, and they've been here for a very, very long time. So it would be worth to get used to seeing them in a way, metaphysically, before they actually show themselves. It would be a way to help keep yourself, more even keel, calm, kind of deal when they do get here. Just because you already know, you're like, this is kind of wild that I'm seeing this in my head, but when you see it for yourself and you use your scanner, your pineal to see these people, you're like, whoa, it's a totally different ball game. But you guys have a good rest tonight. Oh, By the way, I should probably just mention this for whatever reason. The date of today is November 8th, 2024 at 8:28 p.m. Yeah, I gotta go to work in a little bit. I work third shift, so it sucks. But you gotta do what you gotta do for now. But you guys have a great rest of the night. Enjoy. Please watch those videos, and please give those people a visit with your abilities. I'm sure they would be absolutely tickled to see some other people coming in taking notice. But you guys have a great night. Bye.